They did a search inside this house, but they might not have recognized that items in that house were in fact evidence at that time. And then they developed new information. A linkage was established with something new. They went back, looked at their photographs. When we document the crime scene, we take a bunch of overall photographs before we start tearing the place apart to show everything that was there and how it was there. It has value to us that we didn't know about when we were there the first time, so they went back and get it. So they had to make an application, judge. They had to prove probable cause, which obviously they did. Judge signed the warrant, and they're back.
Again, is it coincidental that the home was vacant? Did Asa Ellerup know and get some advanced planning?
Heuermann's wife, Asa Ellerup, is out of town with her adult son. They're out of state, so they're not even home. Cops go to the house to execute this warrant.
We don't know what her plans were. We don't know when she left the house. We don't know if she was notified and she says, I'm not going to be around for this, and got out of Dodge.
Well, Chris and Bianca, talk about deja vu. We were here back in July, and now months later, we're here as investigators issued another search warrant there inside the home. Now, we're told by Asa Ellerup's attorney, she's in South Carolina with her son. Asa Ellerup's attorney, Bob Macedonia, confirmed this to us this morning. He also told us that their daughter is inside the home. She was in there this morning, and she left around 8 o'clock when investigators got here.
And this follows a very significant search of Manorville in the woods that happened just last month. Now, the Manorville searches are said to be tied to 2 of the Long Island serial killer victims.
Back is still unclear. The district attorney's office isn't commenting, citing an ongoing investigation. As you mentioned, Heuermann is charged with the murders of 4 Gilgo victims, sex workers found buried along a stretch of Ocean Parkway near Gilgo Beach. Heuermann pleaded not guilty.
She said the daughter was in there at 8 o'clock, and when they came to take the door or, go in, she left.
Who knows exactly why they're there, except for those people that are there. Is this from that alleged wooden box they recovered, they dug up in Manorville? Or is there a jail snitch? Did the jail snitch record Rex saying something, bringing them back to the house?
You gotta be kidding me.
Stop right there. Stop right there.
It looks like there's wood there. I see wood.
It looks wood.
But is there concrete underneath it? Because I have a wooden deck. I have a wooden deck with concrete underneath it.
I don't think so. I think you owe me a dinner.
It's now on the floor.
Not just yet, cowboy.
We have learned that the Suffolk County Police, State Police, Nassau County, all involved staging a massive command center outside of the home of Rex Heuermann and his estranged wife, Asa Ellerup. I spoke to the attorney for Asa Ellerup, and he confirmed that the search warrant is being served, but he couldn't say what was in it because he doesn't have it. He also told me that Asa Ellerup and her son are out of the state and that the daughter was not there. Rex Heuermann's brother lives in Chester, South Carolina, Craig Heuermann, and that is where they found the Chevy Avalanche that was so important in this case. That is where that Chevy Avalanche was being held. It was a vehicle that was believed to be used in the commission of the crime.
On a side note, if I was one of these neighbors, I'd buy that house and take it to the ground.
I'd buy the house, take it to the ground, and have an excavator come in. I'd hire Murray Marks and somebody from the body farm to excavate every piece of that property, because God only knows what's there. I mean, look.
Excavator. You're going to need an exorcist.
But what's happening at the house right now is extraordinary because of the amount of police presence. And this also follows, Marnie, what happened last month, a massive multi-day search in Manorville.
Is this from that alleged wooden box they recovered, they dug up in Manorville?
Very significant search of Manorville in the woods that happened just last month. Now, the Manorville searches are said to be tied to 2 of the Long Island serial killer victims, Valerie Mack and Jessica Taylor. Could that have something to do with what we're seeing?
Yeah, this is the Manorville searches that happened just a short time ago. And we have personnel, K9, possibly crime scene from NYPD. Any reason for the listening audience why they would be out there involved? Yeah, they would have to enact a mutual aid agreement, and our K9 assets would go out there. That's not a crime scene wagon. We use Sprinter vans now. So most likely it's K9. And we have cadaver dogs, we have search dogs, we have bloodhounds. You name it, we have it. In addition, it could be Teru.
Technical Assistance Response Unit, and they could put their drones up in the air with their infrared cameras to search these areas.
Here now, of course, we have to wait for the DA to tell us what's going on, but we are here with our cameras watching every bit of it.
You see, when they're setting up, there's no boxes out here.
Right. Yes.
Those boxes came out later.
This is early on. You saw them setting up the table. They didn't even have the tent up yet. Those boxes were all in front of this wood pile and right here in this area.
They're pulling these boxes out of the house because they were probably piled up in there and in the way of what they were trying to do. And these are the boxes that were returned to the family after the evidence that was in that box was originally looked at by the crime lab folks and everybody involved in the Gilgo Beach investigation, and then returned back to the family.
What is the status of Rex Heuermann's case right now?
You know, we've just been going to further hearings, status conference hearings. We were there just last month, and it's all about the evidence. Both actually, the prosecution needs to continue giving discovery to the defense, and the defense continues to ask for further.
A multi-agency task force is continuing the search and investigation into Rex Heuermann and his involvement in potentially more than just these 4 victims that he's charged with right now.
Our good friend is here.
Attorney Melanie Little. Attorney Melanie Little, thank you for the super chat. And she says, look, tents, tables, Canton PD could learn something, a lot from Nassau County and Suffolk. Thanks for the coverage, Ron and Ed.
I'm thinking it's a souvenir or it's a momentum that he had saved from one of the homicides, and they didn't recognize it for what it was the first time they were there. Maybe that box that they recovered, it now connects it. Time will tell, because they have to answer this warrant out to the judge. They got to go back to the judge with a list of things they seized from this location.
Yeah. There's got to be a search warrant return within 48 hours of the completion of that said search warrant return. And as we know, Suffolk County is dotting their I's and crossing their T's. We know as professionals that the medical examiner doesn't just come out and take a look around. They're called out there by supervisors who tell them, hey, we have reason to believe that we have human remains here. And they come out not just to take a peek around and say, oh, let me see what's happening there. They're always called out for reason.
That's right. Day 3 on a search that began Monday morning. And as far as we can see, there are no signs of them wrapping up just yet. Let me tell you what I'm speaking about. We are looking still at the command post for both state police and Suffolk County Police out front of Rex Heuermann's home. That is the small red home that you can see behind me. That is Rex's childhood home. We have seen several things coming out of his house, including boxes, a table, a television, and today we saw what appeared to be something that looked like a window. So there is still a lot of action here and a
window? Something of that nature? Could there be blood on the window?
No. Well, listen, you know, we had that eyewitness testimony about seeing one of the victims in the window as the other parties were leaving, right, the house there. Could they have hit the window with luminol, luminol, and got a reaction where they think there might be blood in the window frame, or take the window, get it to the lab, have it analyzed?
God only knows what could be inside a TV and why they would take that.
It has quieted down a lot. It almost seems as if people here are getting used to having this large police presence here in Massapequa.
The former police commissioner, Rodney Harrison, referred to him a lot in this case, and there he is, shaking hands and on the scene. I always love to see the executives hands-on on scene.
And what exactly is the Gilgo Beach Task Force returning here to look for inside Rex Heuermann's home, and also what brought them back here in the first place? Large bags brought out along with bins and boxes, and even a notebook. Some of the many items of evidence taken out of accused Gilgo Beach serial killer Rex Heuermann's Massapequa Park house.
Asa told me, and Chris told me, that they tore the place apart the first time, that there was no stone unturned. My opinion, if they didn't find anything there the first time.
This is a retired FDNY firefighter. He also was the one who told the media some 8 months ago that he caught Rex Heuermann looking over the fence at his wife while she was in a bikini, and he had words with him.
Oh man, I can't believe it, really. It's shocking again.
Etienne Divier is Rex Heuermann's next-door neighbor of 30 years.
He kind of, filled us in on what was going on and what they're doing, and they got a search warrant, and they're gonna be here for a few days. I said, how long? And they said, we really don't know.
Suffolk County District Attorney Ray Tierney staying tight-lipped about the return to Heuermann's home.
Investigations evolve, new information comes in, and as that new information comes in, it becomes necessary to take additional steps.
I'm just waiting to see if our good friend, the very flamboyant lawyer, pops up with some statements after this.
Mr. Ray, yes, I'm sure we'll be hearing from him. Suffolk County Police, along with the state police and the whole Gilgo task force, is continuing the search and investigation into Rex Heuermann.
Keep the forensics to the professionals. I saw some things, and I don't want to be picky-oony, but it seems like they were making a lot of big new boxes. They were putting boxes together to gather a lot of stuff up. Only thing that disturbed me about what I saw